Testing, testing. Good on audio. All right, let's go for game. Hey everyone, this is Walter Snackle Fox coming at you from Zenless Zone Zero and the Snackleverse. I have been playing this game from the beginning. I love a lot of MiHoYo games. They're a big part of my channel. I was having performance problems with it early on until I upgraded my SSD. Maybe they have also been making performance improvements over time. And now made some decent progress. And I'm up to the current story, and we're going to be playing through Bernice's story. So let's get on over to that. Let me see. I have done the Overlord's Feast. There we go. No, that's her demo. We can do that afterward or something to show her off or as people come in. This is what I want. Okay, of course. I have to go back to the office and do an event there. The Bernice Agent story, A Stroke of Luck 1, has been recorded and can be viewed in the video archive. So let's start it up, Bernice. Let's stick that nitro fuel in our tank. Yes, we're going to immersive story mode. We're not going to be able to play other missions while we're doing this. We're on stream. That wouldn't make any sense. And it looks like Bernice was not voiced for some of this. Interesting. Maybe they hit the same problems as Genshin did with Kachina and other characters. So Bernice says, "We never see you two proxies come out here in the outer ring. Did you come out to hang out with us?" I guess you can say that. Well, we're here for a specific task, not just to hang out. Belle and I have been visiting all our agent partners to update everyone on our threshold for new commissions. Because we've been tight on money these days, so we've been taking on smaller commissions too. That didn't read right. Do legendary proxies like you still have money worries? I guess it ain't easy making a living in New Eridu. But now that you mention it, Bernice, didn't someone contract you to collect supplies inside the hollows? Oh yeah, that's true. It's a real easy commission. If you're up for it, we could get it done for you while we're here. What now? And here I was thinking little old me could get some extra shut-eye. Thanks, Bernice. We definitely want to take it. We're gonna go and get ready then. See you inside the hollow. Great. So Piper and I will see you down in the hollow then. And once we're all done, I'll treat everyone to some Oh, this is Bernice. Great. So Piper and I will see you down in the hollow then. And once we're all done, I'll treat everyone to some nitro fuel. Bernice's initiative is incredible. After taking on her commission, we dive straight into the hollow. Oh. It's showing up. VTube Studio. Oh, I see. There. All right. So. Oh, go talk to Wise first. Very. You saw Bernice's DM, right? You've been burning through too much power lately. That's why Bell's had to pull overtime doing all those extra commissions. Thank you, Master, for working so hard. I need more power. Okay. Though your finances may be limited, Master, my power is not something I would advise you cutting back on. If you wish to save money, I have compiled a list of second assistant's recent expenses. Hold on a sec. The day before yesterday, I overpaid for an old Civilization videotape while stocking up from Travis. Yesterday, I spent a bit at Box Galaxy, but didn't get the collector's item. And today, I have to clarify, while the chance of that tape appreciating value is slim, it is still highly valuable as a collectible, and I used my points to pull gotchas at the gadget store. That didn't cost a thing. You don't have to explain everything to me. Sigh. It would be great if we could strike it rich one day, something like winning the lottery, but to be realistic, we never even bothered to buy a ticket. Don't buy a ticket, that's a bad idea, Wise. Anyway, let's get that commission done via the HDD. When it comes to paying the bills, where there's a will, there's a way, right? And as you can see, I have on a little disguise for Halloween. Nobody will recognize me in this, I'm sure. And let's get going. Something good happened. All right, we've got Bernice, we've got Piper, and... Oh, that's locked. I can't even have a third. All right, Bernice, let's get trucking. Oh, is my audio right? No. There we go.
You're an enemy! We can't let our guard down. Well, 10-4! Ambush! I can take him! Final call. You kids are bursting. Piper, take a break. Take it easy. Healing sensors fired up. What?
I'm gonna take a look at the settings after this. There is a big difference streaming this as opposed to... as opposed to just playing it. Let's see, can I do it here? Options. There. All right. Right, I'm going to... there. Alright, this isn't working. I'm thinking we switch out games for tonight. Exit combat. Streaming Zenless Zone Zero is not working. I just couldn't get the performance to work out playing the game and streaming at the same time. So I'm starting up Reverse again, and I'm gonna finish that story. Thank you. I'm sure I put it on there, but yeah, I understand. I only just got on, so...
It's time for a checkup.
Alright, we are back.
Everyone here gnashes their teeth and covers their mouth with their hands. Come on. Today is not a revenge day.
Oh, it's just the same stuff I already have, but it's new for this copy. Alright. I think we've got another few stories of this. Oh, we've got quite a few. Well, this will probably take all night. Oh, homage paid.
We've got signal. Zeno has restored communications with Team Timekeeper.
Awesome.
Very well. We will leave you to it.
She sighs with relief. But before she hangs up, she has one more question.
Just to confirm before we go, the operation Zeno is currently undertaking has been approved by the PAC Security Council, right?
The internal call falls silent, as if the question is too absurd to answer.
Certainly, miss. We're soldiers. Soldiers act on orders.
This is the only part of the island untouched by war, where the foliage is thriving and the view is stunning.
I am most pleased to see you. Had you a pleasant stay on this island, Ms. Verton?
Verdon always looks like that, so it looks kind of like unpleasant, but we'll see. She turns around, a smile gracing her face.
Are they not an intriguing flock of people? Their wise ones drew a circle at their feet and declared themselves apart from this realm. For generations untold, they toiled as diligent ants in service of the circle, adoring and venerating it while shielding themselves from insanity's call. I take immense pleasure in admiring this wondrous figure, the primordial, eternal, immaculate circle. The more pity that it was etched upon sand.
Below, the bombed-out beach is in a state of disarray.
I disagree. The fragility and impermanence of sand is precisely why people strive for something eternal. Believing in perfection is not a flaw. I noticed the human aircrafts were loaded with weapons, not from this era. Did Manus Vindictae provide them with the technology?
Arcana smiles, the silence confirming this disturbing revelation.
I can't fathom your motives. If you came here to incite hatred and recruit the pure-blood arcanists on this island, you may now walk away with satisfaction. If you wanted to take the island as one of your bases, you could have done so after the cleansing ceremony failed, but you did nothing. You just stood there. Why?
Without rhyme or reason, she laughs.
Do you struggle to comprehend, sweet Burton? I was waiting for you.
Sinedo and Lilia take a step forward.
Enough talk, Vertin. It's time for action.
Mind your distance. Arcana has power over people's minds at a close range.
A pity.
She raises her arm, the stone bangle still intact on her wrist. The next moment, it slides off and falls to the grass, dissolving into thin air.
I didst wish to keep this bangle. Mine and yours, a pair in perfect match. How will you remove yours, Vertin?
Bangle burns, a reminder of those who still believe in the teachings of truth and of Perron, and those who remained until the end of the cleansing ceremony. The symbol of faith remains true to its purpose. The peace agreement is still in effect.
What? The island's been blasted to smithereens. How come the bangle still has its power? What is it made of?
Don't worry, Regulus. We have foreseen this.
The chief assistant shows no signs of worry.
When we first arrived, I was bewildered by the rules on this island. But as I learned more about their scriptures, things began to make sense.
You like it, don't you? Still got it on Zenless Zone 0, huh? Thought I did that change. No. I need to work on that. Alright, I tried to change it from the editor again.
Language is an unreliable means of communication. Information can become muddled and vague wording can lead to mistakes and contradictions. That's why the island values math as a more precise and truthful language. They mock language for its ambiguity,
See if that works.
scorn its flaws, and ruthlessly expose its inconsistencies, like they did during that debate. The pact on this bangle is of a similar nature.
I see. It forbids us from actively attacking, but what is considered an attack? The rulemaker did not specify that.
An act without the intent to attack will not be seen as an attack. That is the unspoken rule of the peace agreement.
An adorable attempt. Are you truly prepared to gamble the life of thy sworn companion, little pup of the Foundation?
Behind her, an unidentifiable form materializes into existence. Sonetto shakes her head. Her wand remains steady.
I will not make the same mistake again, Miss Arcana. I know perfectly well what I'm doing. Your provocations will not work on me. For the peace of this world, I will stop you.
The wand radiates an intense brilliance.
Now, Vertin, show me how you have changed since last we met.
The battlefield. It transformed. Arcana is dangerous. We may not be able to defeat her. But right now, that's not our goal.
Relax! I've got the whole battle plan all up here in my head.
Of course you do, Regulus.
I shall relegate captain duties to you for today, Vertin.
Start.
You have made new friends, aye. Have they changed you? Perhaps it's time you met my old friends. Come, they await thy greetings.
Timekeeper! Arcana has disappeared, and monsters are pouring out of the portal she created.
Huh? She's running away! Oh, that was quite the grand escape.
No, I can sense her. She's still there, looking down at us through that portal. She's waiting for something. Everyone, it's almost time. Xeno will start any minute. We need to complete our preparations as planned and force Arcana to show up.
I can't tell you? Which character were you talking about? Virgin? Or Regulus? Or Sinetto? So this is Virgin.
Easy. If we finish
This is
off all her
Lilia.
minions, there's no way she'll just stand by and watch. The big guy up there is mine. You deal with the rest. Trying to gain air supremacy? Not under my watch. I'll send that outdated hunk of scrap metal crashing to the bottom of the ocean.
Enemy recommended.
Let's go. I walk fast.
Let's try this one out. Alright, and if she's weak, maybe we'll just stuck in Tooth Fairy, my girl.
I'm here for a worn tooth. Program activated.
Oh, and they're just floating here on these platforms. Alright, standard setup. And I'm going to...
The puppy agreed with your
Another
decision.
shop that's newly made this year.
Start off by doing theirs. Okay. So were you looking at who? Sinetto?
Got you. Let's get it over quick. It's wrong.
Shell damaged.
Right, that took out one of the boys.
Relax.
I didn't need that yet. Fine. He's open for attack. And we'll do
Loading. Charging.
both of hers.
Please, don't resist. Target confirmed. Eliminate target.
It's wrong.
Well, that hurts. Luckily, I've got at least one healing up.
Relax. Loading. Come back to me. Aim and shoot.
Haha. Alright, now... let's combine that. And I'll do a full Pickles attack and then finish off with Lucy. Hit that hard. Hit that really hard. And hit that hard. And this will get me a bunch of Moxie again on Pickles for him to do another attack when he's ready. Damage boosted, and yeah, he's ready again. I'm not necessarily gonna go for it, but watch that.
Need some peaceful moments.
Another jar?
Charging.
It's newly made this year.
And send out some more Junong Z. plenty, especially damage boosted by pickles.
Airspace cleared. Preparing now.
Beginning deployment.
Warning, warning. The puppy is fleeing the scene at its maximum speed.
Just like the battle simulations. I will not allow the tragedy in Chicago to happen again. Timekeeper, it's time I showed you what my training's been for.
Alright, and doesn't quite matter who I use here. This team's pretty good.
Who ate beans?
Tons of extra actions to buff each other. Let us stick this on
I will
Lucy.
remember your sacrifice.
It could be found. Give him that.
Charging.
Hard here.
Uh-huh. Oh, it's a bubble.
Target confirmed. Don't worry.
Alright, you can try, but that's set up for something really strong. And I'll unleash that one
A
on
perfect
you.
demonstration.
And also this
Loading.
charged up.
The benefits of field mapping.
Eliminate target.
Don't touch the device.
Cheer up.
Alright, I'm gonna reinforce that one because that's extra damage to single target. Launch this first.
An academic question.
Combine those together
It could be found.
and might as well combine
Limited
those.
scale, infinite lines.
And now she
Calculating
launches
distance.
1, 2, 3. And 37 follows up with her own extra attack, extra
Timekeeper,
attack.
I've defeated the enemy. Beginning preparations now.
Keep going. For our dream, comrade.
And I got Sinetto as a supporter, whatever that means.
Be careful, Captain. It appears that some Abraxas are being affected by the storm. They are attacking indiscriminately.
All right, then don't draw their attention. Let them attack the Manus. Hey, we were so quiet. Why are they coming for us?
It seems that the storm cannot entirely change their instinct.
And I can do this one again. That went pretty well.
Program activated.
Right. It seems like in the beginning, might as well stick
admire
this
your
on
courage.
37. Because I'm going to start off with
Give him that.
her stuff.
Loading.
Hard here.
Are you a rational numbers? Intersect and divide.
Barrage.
Get away.
No. Damaged.
Well, I've got some of those ready, so might as well.
It could be found.
Charging.
And if I do this one, those two will
A new
combine together.
hypothesis.
Oh, it's a bubble.
Faraday's miracle.
Whew. Alright. But we have another round. Another wave. Yeah, reinforce the other one. Fine. Fine. Oh. Let's Upgrade that. Find that. And might
I
as
will
well.
remember your sacrifice. Sharp Fang.
Yeah, she's ready.
We share the same dream.
Upgrade. Do
An
her
academic
all,
question.
and seek out some healing. Make sure that 37 is
I
covered.
admire your courage.
And tiny bit
I
left
will
I need,
remember
but
your
sure.
sacrifice.
Well,
Your
Lucy.
brighter future for everyone.
Limited scale, infinite lines. Confirm the coordinates.
Ha ha ha! All of those extra attacks going off worked out really well.
Finally got rid of them. Now, how am I going to deal with this?
Keep going. For our dream, comrade.
Okay. Explain how the supporter works. Every 4 rounds, Regulus can attack all enemies and make her allies dodge all attacks for the round. Stage 1 success. 2 breakout. Start action.
Timekeeper, the first preparation stage is complete.
Great. Next, we destroy the portal.
Marvelous, Burton. You have put on a magnificent performance. As a gesture of gratitude, I shall bestow unto you these gifts.
No.
She just showed up of her own volition. No, something's not right. The arcane skill in that portal is fluctuating strangely.
Oh.
She's casting a ritual. Vertin, retreat!
No time to think.
Prepare for the final confrontation. And you can have helpers in this battle.
What is this? It has more hands than all the members of a band combined.
Timekeeper, there's a gigantic creature emerging from the portal. We must complete stage 2 as soon as possible.
We better finish it off before we start stage 3.
Copy that. This is a critical moment. Everyone stay alert and await my command.
Program activated.
Timekeeper, please allow me to assist you.
The Guiding One's Harbinger takes reduced damage from attacks of a non-stronger Afflatus, and changes its Afflatus to the same source as the source of the damage. Plan your attack sequence wisely. Okay. The Guiding One's Harbinger gains Menace at the end of its round when taking attacks from a non-stronger Afflatus or when its HP is lost during an attack. On reaching 100% Menace, it immediately unleashes its ultimate attack. So this'll definitely take some work figuring out.
I will remember your sacrifice.
It could be found.
I admire your courage.
Try that. Try that. Try
good
that.
point.
Keep up the pace.
The light that illuminates all.
Is this creature changing its afflatus to match that of its attacker?
Ha! A mimic strategy. Clever. but we can also use it to our advantage.
We might have to do this one again.
Everyone, rotate your arcane skills. Make sure we always have the stronger afflatus. Let's teach it a lesson in improvisation.
Intercept and divide.
Taking another look?
Alright, let's try that. That. And then back to that.
Faraday's miracle.
Intersect and divide.
Barrage.
Well, I've certainly got enough healing to catch up with her for right now. But ideally, I'll come in with a different team. Alright.
We share the same dream.
Go into special mode, especially for healing.
Isn't that?
To a brighter future for everyone. Timekeeper, the enemy's ritual has altered the environment.
The final demonstration. Isn't that?
I admire your courage. I will remember your sacrifice.
Welcome to the world of numbers. Huh. Form is a bubble.
Together, we are heroes.
Alright, and that
For the good of all.
healing seemed to have covered all. Give that to you. I need a wild card. There. I'll give this to you.
Loading.
We'll send off that. And if I do this,
A perfect demonstration.
I'll get some back next turn.
The light that illuminates all.
The benefits of field mapping.
Rational.
Alright, I will drop this on
Circuits
her,
functioning properly.
and then
An
this.
academic question.
Oh, wait, if I get out a wild card again. And here, let's buff
I
you
admire
since
your
you're gonna
courage.
do big ult.
Circuits functioning properly.
An academic
That
question.
ult.
Heart scale.
I, Robot, child of science.
Ooh, look at that
Limited
damage.
scale, infinite
All right.
lines. Confirm the coordinates.
Hit one. She hits us with her ult.
The creature is defeated and Arcana has emerged once again. Timekeeper, stage 2 is complete.
Well, I didn't have to get fancy for that one.
Now, we just have to activate it.
No. Things are going too well. Like this has been rehearsed. What on earth is she trying to do?
There's no time! Verzen!
You're right. We've put too much time and effort into this plan to not carry it out now. Sinetto, Lilia, Regulus, assume your positions.
Assume the position,
It's
oh
time
no.
to enact the final stage.
We worked on this collaboration together.
The
I'll
guiding
write you
one's
into my
harbinger.
paper.
Oh man, that's a real drop right there. The ship sways gently in the waves. It is set for a new world, and there's no turning back. Sophia says she hasn't spoken a word since they sailed. The situation is final and the board is set. There's nothing for her to do but to stay silent.
Miss Sophia, is the guiding one really not coming with us? She
doesn't answer, absent-mindedly caressing the tiny idol. She still remembers the moment she received it.
Are you saying?
Fret not, my child. You heard me true. I shall die today.
Oh?
Timekeeper, location Alpha is ready for the ritual.
Location Beta, ready.
Mr. Apple and I are ready.
Good.
This is not a preparation for an attack. At least not for an attack here.
Requesting to use the advanced arcane skill Aparoya Round, number 000262603100008.
What in the world?
To teleport a top priority threat to the Parmenides base.
The glow of the ritual envelops Arcana.
Loosen up and enjoy the ride. Прощай.
The Parmenides
Launch
base
sequence
is 0.
initiated. Starting countdown. 30, 29, 28.
The target has not reached the designated location. I repeat, the target has...
15, 14, 13.
Large-scale arcane ritual detected. Aphroy around, verified. Life signal detected. Target is in position. Initiating detonation.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Whew.
Vacuum bomb detonated.
No arcane energy detected. No life signal detected. Target eliminated. I repeat, the target has been eliminated.
We did it. We actually did it. Admiral, Hans, we made up for what we didn't do in 99.
Did we win?
It's too early to celebrate, but history will remember this moment and honor all that was lost in this long battle.
We'll see.
Wait, Hans. You hear that? In your headphones?
Everyone can hear it. A grating static.
Admiral, we might have a life signal, but there's too much interference.
Give me that.
The plan was made with little time to spare, and the location chosen for the observation room is far from ideal. But soon enough, the strange sound in the room subsides.
No, It's nothing. There is no sign of life. It was the wind.
So, that means...
We did it, everyone.
a triumphant victory! A salute to you, Admiral, and to the Timekeeper.
We'll see.
Our efforts for peace have prevailed, and we have emerged victorious. Let us forever remember this day for its greatness.
Glory to all who fought for this moment! We did it! Whoa! Woo! Yeah!
The observation room erupts in triumph. Arcana deceased. That's a little anticlimactic so far. It keeps on implying that something different happened than we expected, though.
A bullet is among us, right under this roof. It serves no army, no country, only peace. The heavy rain at the end of the century dissolved and washed away many of its comrades. But it was lucky enough to survive. Its pointy end still shines silver, ready to drill a hole into its enemy. Sadly, its bulky colleague stole its thunder in this war. One push of the button, one big explosion. There was no need for the rest of the ammunition.
Good for them. They don't have to work for a while.
Certainly. Who doesn't want a life without the need to work? Few would hesitate to choose a life of freedom over the achievement and satisfaction of a job. Given the short lifespan of a bullet, why would it choose anything else? But its boss, the general, has more to think about. What are they going to do next time? Will this bullet be put to use when the rain comes again?
The general? Who's that?
A big shot, dear. A wise man of the most insightful kind. You should talk to him if you have the chance.
He was just introduced right now.
But he's been in a gloomy mood lately. Be careful not to mention anything related to the conservative battle tactics used in 1999. The missile that would have been launched, and especially anything about the bullets lost in that battle. He has paid a great price for the future. But you see, the future is sneaky. Every time you think you can grasp it, it takes a step away from you, nullifying every effort you've made to get near it. Even a bullet isn't fast enough to catch up.
Then we must keep pursuing.
Pursuing the future. How romantic, dear. As long as we continue to close the gap between us and the future, it will eventually be reduced to zero. But know that as time goes by, we are only moving slower and slower in the race. Technology is regressing, and we have switched from AKs to Mosin Nagants. The bullets won't be as fast as they used to be. The future is drifting away from us, and the past is catching up.
Okay. The ones who pray. Recognize the beauty and goodness of truth. Free yourself from corruption, hatred, and evil. Here, on the level sand, between the sea and the land, what shall I build or write against the fall of night? Tell me of rooms to grave that hold the bursting
Drink this.
wave.
It will help relieve your pain. Worry not. It's not made from the grapes on my head.
Oh? The war may have ended, but its scars remain in this place. The Hall of Truth, or once the Palace of Knowledge, now stands in ruins. 2010 examines the injured man's face closely, making sure his pain is eased. Then he stands and watches as more people are brought through the gate.
Hang in there, 29.
888 makes her way into the hall, carrying an incapacitated believer on her back. She carefully lowers the person to the floor. Her own arms are wounded from the attack, but fortunately they're not fatal. Since the Integers awakened, this has been the only thing they've been doing.
Are there any other injured that have not been found yet?
I've scouted the island. Every remaining member should be here.
So you have.
He sighs, the ramifications of the situation weighing down on them.
It means the members not here have joined Manus Vindictae.
The hall is dead silent. Just a few hours ago, it was alive with debates, ideas, and passion. But now one half of the hall is gone, its seats buried under the shattered dome and crumbling walls.
Is Six still in a coma, Miss Marta?
The blind woman nods, concern etched on her face. The Banshee doesn't say anything else. She needs to clean out her own wounds. The last few hours have been a whirlwind. Their faith has crumbled. The humans have invaded their island, and Manus Vindictae has turned them against each other. But now, everything's gone. Enemies, friends, and even the truth. All that's left are the moans and groans that fill the hall. In the midst of the hushed void, some begin to pray.
To you, O the alone infinite, the non-subsistent, the ineffable, I call. Grant me inspiration of nature. Guide my soul with truth.
These are the words of both sorrow and hope. Words of contemplation and honor for the dead. A brief respite where they can find solace to ease their pain.
Give me power of enlightenment. Tear off from the web of ignorance.
More people join in. Their prayers reverberate throughout the hall.
Redeem me from the evil, hatred, and what throttles me down. Break through the ground of bad, corruption's chain, the carapace of darkness, the living death, sensation's corpse, the tomb I carry. Learn the beauty of truth, the balance and limitations of all.
Enough!
It's 29. The injured believer just carried in by 888. A leg is missing, but he manages to get up and sit it down against the wall.
Why are you still praying? The truth is gone! Who are we praying to? Who will answer us?
His outburst falters, turning into a bitter sob.
For generations, we have searched for purpose and meaning. But now that the truth is lost, what is left for us to live for?
No, the truth is still there.
A crisp voice echoes through the hall. 37. 37 arrives panting at the door, accompanied by members of the Timekeeper's team.
I passed a Piron's test and it showed me the answer. It will free us from the Wheel of Birth once and for all. I just need some time to decode it.
She feels their stares wave heavily on her. The wounded, the desperate, those who have lost their life and their souls in the last few hours. The custodian walks up to her, still composed and steady.
We will do our best to help, but how much time do you need?
A crucial question. The girl averts her eyes. Her confidence has waned since the last time she answered this question.
I have someone in mind that can help us decode faster.
Elsewhere in this world, some people are also making the same efforts at all costs. They, too, are studying the immunity to the storm.
But I need your approval before I ask them for help.
This will require some finesse. What's about to be asked might rattle the founding principles of their belief system.
May I share the truth with the others, 37?
The experiments on the side effects of the ritual are ongoing. The list of conditions they've encountered stretches down the page like a long, winding snake.
The side effects are completely random. Among the current samples, the probability of no side effects occurring is 0.52%. And of the 81 recorded side effects, 39 of them will cause irreversible damage to the biological body. 24 will permanently alter the composition of the caster's body functioning, and 18 minor effects will cause only minor, superficial injuries that do not affect daily functioning. Laplace's archives has enough rituals to protect casters from the minor effects, but the other two categories are highly lethal.
The list was made at the cost of lives, and she meticulously analyzes each item as if taking apart an intricate machine.
After 72 experiments, the diversity of side effects has decreased significantly. It is unclear if this is due to repeated testing on a single subject or due to a limited range of possible side effects. More than 90% of these effects are related to concepts such as dirt and dust. Is it because of the origins of this ritual's power?
She stops briefly, scanning through the list again.
The number of recorded side effects is 86, not 81. When did I write these 5 down?
A knock at the door interrupts her thoughts. Simone walks in.
Madam Lucy, Zeno's plan was a success. With the help of Team Timekeeper, the leader of Manus Vindictae was teleported to a deserted military base and targeted with a thermobaric weapon. It was a direct hit with no signs of life detected. The momentous event was captured on camera in the observation room.
The director nods in approval. It is good news, but she can't devote much of her processing power to expressing joy while she's focused on research.
A tremendous victory. Please extend my congratulations to the Admiral for this remarkable feat.
Also, you have 2 call requests. One is from the Timekeeper, which Laplace received shortly after the battle with Manus Vindictae. She is requesting remote assistance to help the Apiron decode a numerical code related to the storm immunity.
This information demands attention. The director's head snaps up.
Put her through immediately.
Simone nods, but her shoulders remain tense. There's more.
And the other call?
It's Kikanya, the Viennese arcanist who helped investigate Marcus in acquiring the ritual.
A hint of hesitation appears in her eyes.
We have updated her the progress of the study and the potential side effects of the incantation, but she insists on knowing the right pronunciation.
Yep. Go do your EP time, Tail Splash. Go do your EP time. I guess you saw one of the most significant parts, that boss battle. We'll see if there's more. Guide to constructing communication waves under special circumstances. Alright everyone, this is X, here to instruct you all on how to set up a usable radio communication network under the influence of the storm. Firstly, radio transmission is like a Goldberg machine. A convoluted process, even though it's point-to-point, it's not just a straight line. The medium of transmission can also change along the way, and it's not limited to radio waves. With a little imagination and well-calculated paths, information can be transmitted from any point to any other point, and multiple complex paths can prevent information from being hijacked during transmission due to the storm. The theory involved can be found in my earlier paper, How to Send Transoceanic Mail with Pigeons and Catapults. Call me when someone gets it right. I'm on my way to being busy. Alright, going to mission 3. The Rosetta Stone. Which is hopefully what 37 found.
We're not aware of that. 37 and I had just entered the cave when the investigator sent back the ritual.
The transmission is weakening. This radio musters all her strength, struggling to hold on to the fleeting signal in the air.
I see. Thank you for the thorough explanation, Madam Lucy. I'll make sure to inform the members of Apeiron.
Is it really possible to remember all those numbers and technical details?
If possible. Could you kindly explain this to them again after we set up the communication device?
The lab has never been busier since the day it was built. The scattered files are neatly gathered, and more integers have come to help sort through the years of documents. Miss Radio is placed next to the IDM with a sense of reverence. The computer screen lights up, a familiar voice comes out of the speakers.
The next thing's the acoustic components. Totally understandable if you don't have any on hand. Regulus, can you help me find some...
What are you saying, mate? Of course, this great disc jockey would have the acoustic components. I'll have you know, I made friends with the dolphins as soon as I had the chance, hoping they'd retrieve some of the radio components from Apple II. And guess what? They actually found some!
How are they gonna work if they're wet, though? She attaches the acoustic component onto the IDM, beaming with excitement.
Hello? Testing, 1, 2, 3.
The screeching feedback forces everyone to cover their ears.
Perfect. You finally have a communicator equipped with a speaker. Before, there were too many ears for one tiny radio. Ah.
What now? Another attack?
Not quite. That's the sound of our colleague, Medicine Pocket. Hard at work.
Finally, a real communicator for Team Timekeeper. X gets up, skirts around Medicine Pocket's mess on the floor, casually makes himself a cappuccino.
How goes it on your end, Vertin? The storm is only 8 hours away. Has the immunity zone on the island stopped shrinking?
I think so. No one in the Hall of Apeiron's affected by the storm syndrome so far. The immunity zone seems stable for now. Manus Vindictae and the humans have left. There should be no further destruction on the island.
So the decay of the immunity zone is not linear. It seems to be influenced by the islanders' mindset toward the truth, and it eventually reaches a stopping point.
He puts down the cup and thinks about everything he heard from the call.
Could it be that the ritual on this island, rooted in the power of faith and belief, serves to amplify only the radius of the storm immunity? Fascinating.
That can wait, Researcher X.
Ulrich, impatient as ever, interrupts his musings with a more important concern. There are still pressing matters to discuss with the Timekeeper through the device.
There's one thing I'd like to confirm, Timekeeper. About the question Miss 37 asked in the cave. How can we escape the darkness of the phenomenal world and be freed from the emanation forever? To my understanding, that is almost the same as asking how we can be immune to the storm.
Yes, and 37 also said the transcendental truth was beyond the limits of her mortal flesh. Apeiron answered her with an eerie sound, one that could drive anyone mad just by hearing it. It was then that the Scroll 6 gave her unfurled and transcribed the sound into a string of numbers, providing us with the code.
Yes, that's the key to our problem. We both received a solution to the same question simultaneously. Immunity against the storm. This could be our Rosetta Stone, Timekeeper. We found our own Rosetta Stone!
His voice rises in excitement as he becomes fully immersed in his thoughts. Meanwhile, his listener's mind is starting to wander with a big question mark in the air.
Rosetta Stone.
Allow me to explain.
The director interjects with a well-timed explanation.
The Rosetta Stone is a stone tablet inscribed with a decree in 3 different languages: hieroglyphs, Demotic, and Ancient Greek. Hieroglyphs were the sacred writing for the divine, while Demotic script was known as the language of the people. Both scripts were ancient Egyptian, lost to time when the tablet was discovered. However, because scholars were still able to read ancient Greek, and through comparing the 3 inscriptions that all said the same thing, they were finally able to understand the hieroglyphs. And now, we too have our own set of inscriptions to decode. The first is similar to hieroglyphs, as the truth Miss 37 heard in the cave is completely unintelligible and can drive people insane just by listening to it. The second is like demotic script, a ritual we obtain from arcana that can place a curse upon those who read it aloud. It cannot be handled by ordinary people. Finally, the numerical code you shared with us is like the readable ancient Greek, without any divine powers, but crucial in deciphering the other two inscriptions.
How intriguing!
She's so happy! 37's voice chimed in over the line, clearly excited by the analogy.
That is to say, if we work together and combine our research, we may unlock even deeper knowledge that only belongs to the divine?
Exactly. We're looking for the same answer to the same question, like how the same decree is inscribed onto the tablet in different forms. And just like the inscriptions on the tablet, we have 3 versions of the ritual. If we can delve into the essence of the ritual and master its inner workings, we may eventually transcribe it into a side-effect-free ritual that can be used by everyone.
Yes, it should work. Because the nature of the universe flows in all things alike.
I'm glad you think so, Miss 37.
The girl on the other end of the phone is equally ecstatic. There's no question that they're in sync on this incredible idea. The ferrofluid happily swirls around in its fishbowl. Regrettably, his boss is a practical thinker.
Your hypothesis is based on too many assumptions, Ulrich. It requires further refinement and confirmation. We now have valid incantations. We should continue in this direction.
Our words are like a bucket of ice water dumped over their heads. As always, the robot steers them to a more practical path.
You mentioned the word transcribe just like the timekeeper did. It holds the answer to improving the ritual.
You mean?
The scroll you mentioned that can bridge the gap between you and the supreme existence during communion. It is the scroll that transcribed the eerie sound and saved 37 from the lethal side effects. Does this mean it could potentially lessen the negative effects of the immunity incantation?
Everyone in the lab realizes it at once. Reducing the side effects is faster than trying to come up with a perfect, side effect-free incantation from scratch. Now, the solution is right in front of them. The scroll that can solve Arcanum with Arcanum.
Wait, Madam Lucy. Let me take it from here.
We would like to borrow this scroll for research. If you lend us this scroll, we will make significant advancements on the research, and we promise to provide every assistance you require in the future.
The ferrofluid flinches into the shape of a droplet of sweat. It was too late to stop her. The atmosphere on the other end of the call changes dramatically.
Lend you the scroll.
The custodian leaps up from her corner in disbelief.
Are you asking us to give the legacy of Epiron, our most cherished possession, to you? A scientific research organization that serves humans?
The lab falls silent, reflecting the seriousness of the request. For a school of thought that has always kept its knowledge hidden, this is a major threat to its core beliefs and sacred vows. Kept its knowledge hidden, that's an interesting aspect of the Greeks. There was a group of Greek religious thinkers, whom I guess they're tied to, the Gnostics, who got their name from knowledge, and their idea was that they had hidden knowledge, and that's why they got that name. This has nothing to do with agnostic, Gnostic meaning with knowledge, and agnostic meaning without, so opposite meaning in some sense, but very separate movements. But the silence is broken again by that cheery voice. The voice that always questions and doubts.
Why not? We are seekers of truth, are we not?
Cycle of history. Part 24. Cycle of History.
Heed my words, 37. That scroll is a sacred relic passed down from the wise sages of Epiron, safeguarded by the Sixes, and entrusted only to believers who brave Epiron's test. It has the power of harmonization and reconciliation. You may keep it until you fully grasped the secrets shared with you by Epiron. But you will not share it with some organization affiliated with humans, and certainly do not allow them to study it.
The inevitable disagreement is finally upon them. 888 grabs 37 by the arm and drags her out of the lab.
Why? Sharing the scroll is sharing wisdom and knowledge with others, like what we have done through our doctrinal meetings and receiving visitors from the outside world. It is for the sake of spreading the light of truth, is it not? The human researchers. They have also discovered many brilliant theorems. Before the emanation cut us off, we had these types of communications with the outside world. It was fun. Unlike what came after, I'm sure by sharing this scroll, the code from Aperon will be deciphered. I must prove that the light of truth still glimmers.
She stands her ground. She is right. With their faith shattered, people need something new to keep them going. And this time, her suggestions make sense in a practical way, a quality often missing from her previous ideas. With the island no longer shielding them, the school must find another way to survive the emanation. In their moment of weakness, they need a powerful ally more than ever.
But how can you be sure the scroll will only be used for researching the ritual? How can you ensure that the humans won't exploit it to create weapons of destruction?
Aww. The custodian looks up at the fractured dome. The speckled daylight illuminates her cool complexion.
Before joining the School of Apiron, my people and I had wandered the world for ages. Our long lives made it difficult for us to truly fit in with the world. Daughter of Truth, I implore you to hear the words of this old soul. Humans have indeed achieved incredible feats, and their enlightenment has even touched my soul. But unfortunately, most humans do not have an inherent respect for knowledge or its boundaries. They only chase after power blindly. I have experienced it firsthand. I tried to guide and persuade them, but ultimately I failed. That is why I am here now. What you are deciding to share is not only knowledge, but it is a ritual. A piece of power. A ritual designed for harmonization, created for the devout believers, and created for the sages seeking the truth. Yet, on the other hand, it can also be used for unspeakable horrors, such as silencers on guns, suppressors on rifles, or even on nuclear bombs.
It won't. 888. I won't let this happen. I promise.
You can't promise anything, Miss Verton. You're too young, too inexperienced to comprehend the dark nature of history.
A valid and powerful observation. The hall itself, ravaged by war, now stands as a testament to the Banshee's claim. Even 37 is speechless.
But it's the truth we're talking about. What could possibly outweigh the truth?
An unexpected voice speaks up. To everyone's surprise, the rhetorician does not raise any objections this time.
If all it takes is lending someone a scroll to unlock unspeakable secrets, why not do it? Haven't the failures of the past 4 years proven that a stagnant mindset does not bring forth the light of truth? As individuals devoted to critical thinking, should the pursuit of truth not be our primary goal in life? My brothers and sisters, do not let hatred stop you, and don't let the dust of the phenomenal world blind you.
210!
He waves his hand and gets up from his seat.
And remember, It was 37 who passed the test and earned the scroll. It is her rightful responsibility to handle this situation.
He looks elsewhere, his demeanor suggesting a lack of interest rather than genuine support for the argument.
Otherwise, what other choice do we have?
He shrugs and walks out of the hall. Behind him, the Star of Hermes clenches her fist with resolve. To the murmuring, doubting crowd, she speaks again loud and clear.
I have made up my mind. I will share the scroll with Laplace. We will decipher the code together. The truth is the truth. It should not be swayed by anything else. Please, everyone, cast your pebble if you agree with me. If Six were here, he too would have called for a vote.
Some of them decide to leave the hall instead, but most stay and use the pebbles in their hands to speak for them. Her victory arrives with a gentle sigh from the corner. Roar and smoke have long left this place. An area has been cleared for takeoff.
Miss Lilia, are you certain about this?
Absolutely. See the nice weather today? Much better than the day we landed. No wind, no cloud, the clear sky, and that giant moon.
Sitting tight on her SU-01BE, she gives a quick pat to the scroll secured on her belt. This is the essence of Aperon's goodwill in their newfound alliance with Plus.
Can't find a better day to deliver the package. It's just to the headquarters, not even going outside of Europe. 3 hours is more than enough. I'm done being stuck on this suffocating island. Nobody can stop me from taking this flight.
The headquarters are at least 768 nautical miles away, and you have no protection during the long flight. It's dangerous, and we have only 7 hours until the storm.
Dangerous? Maybe. But this is an exhilarating flight in the storm, Saneto. What better chance than now to push Zeno into updating their flying manual?
She takes a few long gulps from her canteen and warms up her broomstick, brimming with anticipation as if she were going to a carnival.
Besides, what's wrong with a bit of oil painting on me? Should be a nice badge of honor.
Mate, that's quite a distance. Just be sure not to go toppling into the Mediterranean Sea.
Red 38 is no way an apple the second.
Oh. She soars higher and higher until Regulus shrinks to a tiny red dot on the beach. From the corner of her eye, she notices shadows slowly creeping towards her.
Uh-oh. Manus Alitius? We didn't kill them all off? I don't have time for you, little stingray rats.
The Olitatius trail close behind her.
Still got your speed, huh? I guess the death of your boss didn't faze you much. Oh.
A swollen blimp comes into view, filled with a dark substance and throbbing like a beating heart. The creature's soft, tentacle-like turrets slowly rise and lock onto Lilia.
A Manus aircraft? Worth a fight. Haha! Bring it on! Your downfall will be an explosive orchestra over the waters.
Alright, it recommended, let's go for... you and you again.
Join with us, comrades.
I will remember
for the
your
moment.
sacrifice.
You only made another jar?
Loading. Keep up the pace.
Got you. Enjoy!
Target confirmed.
you. Another jar?
Charging. Loading.
Got you. You don't want to miss it.
Aim and shoot. Faraday's miracle.
It's wrong.
Great.
It's newly made this year. Another jar?
The puppy agreed with your decision.
There they are. Enjoy!
Taking out one tiny enemy. He's taken out.
It's wrong. Got you.
Almost halfway done. Here, let's beef up that.
Coming.
Heal up
We are
you.
like-minded.
I'll fill the cup for you.
For the good of all.
Attack.
Oh boy. That was a lot of damage. Might need another way out of that.
Charging.
Another jar?
The light that illuminates all.
You don't want to miss it. It's wrong.
Thunder. Attack.
Do this
The
again.
puppy agreed with your decision.
Hit with that. Hit with that.
Newly made this year.
Target confirmed.
Alright. Then took out VLAN
Warning,
Duel.
warning. The puppy is fleeing the scene at its maximum speed.
To safely cast the immunity ritual, 2 conditions must be met. Have the power to wield it.
Yes, Miss Tyder has derived the formula and my team has finished designing the prototype converter. Now, we just need the bigwigs upstairs to approve the experiment application. This is an unprecedented chance to rob the storm of its energy. I wouldn't miss this for anything.
Minimize the side effects.
The Scroll of Aperon has shown great potential in protecting casters from the ritual. It is expected to outperform the Coleman protection rituals. The sheer variety of side effects is concerning, but we already have a list of 122 curses and their effects. Once the scroll arrives, we will test and record its reactions to each of the effects. This should speed up our analysis considerably.
But this isn't enough.
How can we get humans to make use of this ritual?
He stands up and paces around the cluttered room.
Ideally, the incantation is made into a tool like the Manus Mask or Laplace's incantation soft disk. However, this would require a thorough analysis and mastery of the ritual. Manus Vindicte could create the mask because Arcana is just that excellent of a caster. But we don't have that kind of excellence all the time. That's why I came up with a clever alternative, to let everyone be a caster instead. The problem is, humans can't cast it all to begin with. Ugh.
Logic is failing to produce the desired breakthroughs. Enigma sits back down at the table, holding his head in despair.
Is there nothing else we can do?
Now, we did have one exception with Semmelweis and Infected, who became a
So,
caster.
this is the plan of the imaginary numbers. You want to use the waves of Numa and the reconciliation of the scroll to allow everyone to recite the storm immunity ritual?
37 ponders with great interest, as if it were just another game. The collaboration with Laplace is going well. They have just shared all their information on the subject.
Yes. What do you think, 37?
An ugly plan it is. There is no grace or beauty in this approach. It is purely driven by practicality and uses clever tactics to make things fit. How typical of imaginary numbers.
What? It sounds pretty cool to me. Taking advantage of the storm? It's about time we plundered it instead.
It really looks like we should throw this plan into the sea.
37 insists, subtly shifting her seat away from Regulus.
You're not trying to comprehend the ritual, Vertin, but scrambling to make use of it before the emanation arrives.
Isn't making use of it enough for our purposes?
No, the theory is incomplete. You will be hindered by impossible obstacles in no time. Mister, could you show me the incantation? I want to see it too.
She glances at the device, hoping for an answer. But the other end of the call has been silent for a while.
Laplace is looking for a safe method to deliver the incantation. Given the incidents before, some time is required for the application procedure. Once received, please do not read it out by any means. The side effects are extremely deadly.
The chief assistant explains to her reassuringly. Finally, someone speaks again.
Apologies. We took some time to test the delivery methods. For your safety, only the text of the incantation will be delivered. The exact pronunciation will be sent to the timekeeper later.
Thanks, mate.
Since the island has no visual communication, we will send the incantation letter by letter through a Chladni plate, a technique that converts simple patterns to sound waves. Enough with the mumbo-jumbo! There's no time for details.
Annoyed, he interrupts his rambling and gets straight to the point.
Anyway, timekeeper, we'll need the help of that lady. Miss Radio, right?
Huh?
Flattered, the blue flower on Miss Radio perks up. No ordinary signal could reach the silent. Since their arrival, she's been diligently managing their communications. As a result, she was somewhat reduced to being just a radio.
Yes. Somebody please find her a metal square plate, fix it on a sturdy base, and pour sand on it.
Oh. Sonetto and Regulus get to work immediately. Fortunately, there's no shortage of metals and sand on the island. A makeshift receiving station is quickly built.
Now, a special recording will be sent to you. Please stay by the edge of the plate, embrace the sound, and, groove along.
I assume you mean vibrate?
No, that's just rude. But, yes, exactly.
Oh boy, he stammers.
If all goes well, the vibrations will move the sand and visualize the text in a pattern. We have 12 recordings ready, each representing a letter in the incantation. We'll play the first one when you're ready.
Oh, of course, my pleasure.
She trembles with excitement, ready to give her all for this important task. As she grooves with the signal, a pattern begins to form on the plate.
First one's done, Mr. Ulrich.
All right, 11 to go.
The transmission continues as planned, each letter falling into place like pieces of a puzzle. Until finally the last letter is recorded on the page.
This incantation.
The sight is hard to believe. How can this be?
What? Are you reading it in your head? Oh, don't tell me even thinking about it can trigger the curse.
No. It's just, I can read this language.
Oh. La un la circlo. The language is not unfamiliar. The incantation for unlocking the suitcase is inscribed in the same tongue. The questions are, who taught this and when? Was it on the eve of the new millennium, when everything was a blank? Was it Mother? A myriad of thoughts fled the mind.
37. I think I know what it says. It means the first circle.
Oh. Which is not surprising. It sounds like somebody twisted English or romantic language into that. Emergency harmonizer analysis text notification. Special notification. We have received a harmonizer capable of neutralizing the storm immunity spell, which has proven effective through Miss Lucy's testing. The contents of the harmonizer have been sent to each department in the form of a photograph with this message. Please begin analysis for mass replication immediately upon receipt. I'll call back to the people from John Teeter's place. You will keep busy. The first circle. We're getting close. Office of Director Laplace. The researchers on the receiving end quickly grasp the message.
The first circle. That's what the incantation says?
He suddenly remembers a detail that has eluded him all along.
That's it. The investigator in Vienna reported a similar thing. An ancient miracle, a circle of salvation.
Oh.
Akana even drew a circle in the air while saying it. She did it so nonchalantly, as if it were a meaningless gesture. We didn't think much of it at the time. Once we confirmed that it did not affect the casting of the incantation, we forgot about it and moved on. I can't believe I overlooked it.
The hot-tempered cryptography lead slams the table and buries the face into his hands, clearly exasperated.
This is not your fault, Ulrich. The gesture was overlooked because it did not really help the research. Our focus was on practical application rather than understanding the incantation itself. If the incantation means the first circle...
The pragmatist's voice is still serene.
How will this be helpful to the research?
We'll see. We'll see.
I see. I understand now.
A moment of epiphany. She snatches a handful of papers, sprawls out on the floor, and scribbles frantically.
Well, Vertin, I don't know why you can read it, but I do know that Gal is thrilled by your interpretation. Because you mentioned her favorite shape, the circle.
The irrational number is spot on. 37 has drifted into a world of her own.
Yes. The essence of the incantation is a circle. But what kind of circle is it? In topology, any closed curve on a plane can be classified as a circle.
Aha! Told you!
Regulus spreads her hands, speechless. She takes a step back, giving 37 more room to calculate. Everyone is talking quietly so as not to disturb her. Even Mrs. Radio has lowered her volume. Just as her sheets are about to engulf the entire floor, she finally stands up.
Look, Vertin, let's go back to the Rosetta Stone hypothesis. Based on the hypothesis, if the incantation and the numerical code share a common essence, which is the key to the storm immunity, and we now know the incantation refers to a circle,
then the essence of this numerical code should also be a circle, right?
37
yes.
nods.
Before this conversation, I had no idea which direction to take. The numerical code could be a snippet of an incantation, or it could be a geometrical ritual array. I had a lot of theories to go on, but testing them could take weeks or even months. Worse yet, if my line of thinking was completely wrong, we could waste decades of time and effort.
Oh.
But the Rosetta Stone hypothesis is easy to verify. Let us suppose that the incantation and numerical code share a similar essence. We know that the incantation does work, as proven by the Awakened. If the incantation is a circle, then the numerical code should also be circular in nature, and has the same effect as the incantation.
Which is going to look something like...
a circle that saves people from the emanation, and can also be experimented with by the Awakened.
If the experiment works, then the hypothesis is true. And vice versa. I see what you mean here. It really is an easily provable hypothesis.
To my ears, you're just trying to prove that the code means a circle. Because you're really into circles.
Not specifically. I simply like it because it's a great shape.
But I don't understand.
She picks up the numerical code and studies it carefully.
+1, -1, +2, -3, 3, -3, +2, -1, +1. How do these numbers relate to the circle?
The first circle.
Enigma narrows his brows, spinning a pen between his fingers. His drafts are scattered across his desk, each of them a dead end.
Yes, it was the timekeeper who translated the incantation. And according to the investigator in Vienna, Arcana also drew a circle when she cast the ritual. But experiments have shown that the gesture has no effect on the ritual. We thought maybe it was a symbolic gesture.
No. It is no way just symbolic.
He jumps to his feet. The cryptographer sneezes at the cloud of dust he just stirred up.
Arcanists excel at condensing their experiences into symbolic representations. Signs, totems, elements, these are primitive symbols, and some are sources of power for Arcanum. At least that's what the Foundation's textbooks tell me. That's why arcane skills can only be enhanced by mediums that align with their symbolic nature. Precise materials are required when creating soft discs for each incantation.
He stops spinning his pen.
If the incantation symbolizes the first circle, and if we were to create a physical form that could be mass-produced for everyone, will that form have to be a circle too?
In the cave, discussions and theories about the circle are also in full swing. Every inch of the floor is now covered with paper. On each sheet is a differently drawn circle. Some are spheres, some have crossings, some are in distorted forms. But just as the sea of papers is about to drown everyone in the room, she finally stands up.
Oh, I should have thought of this. The simplest things often hold the deepest meaning, as always. So, the first circle, what could it be? A wheel? A piece of rope? A pendulum?
37 shakes her head and kicks away some paper balls at her feet.
I spent too long on the wheel and the bearing, not realizing there was something more promising. A circle can also be seen as a knot with no crossings. An unknot.
I don't understand that.
This could be a variation of a closed curve. A knot.
Oh.
Knots were how the ancients of the Incas and Chinese collected data and kept records. But which knot is it exactly?
37 extends her hand. Intricate geometric shapes take form in the radiance of her arcane light.
The Jones polynomial of the trefoil knot is t plus t cubed minus t to the power of 4. The figure 8 knot is t to the power of -2 minus t to the power of -1 plus 1 minus t plus t squared. While the cinquefoil knot, t squared plus t to the power of 4 minus t to the power of 5 plus t to the power of 6 minus t to the power of 7. I could go on all day. There are 165 different knots with 10 crossings, 9,988 knots with 13 crossings. But which knot is the code referring to? +1, -1, +2, -3, +3, -3, +2, -1, +1.
She stops.
Of course. Of course I would hear these digits instead of anything else. The scroll transcribes the truth into a format I can understand. So it must be based on a mathematical system I already know. I have all the knowledge needed to break the code. Just need to follow my instincts and pick a system. And the Jones polynomial is the first thing I could think of.
Struck by an idea, she drops to her knees and starts calculating again on the floor.
Right. The second 3 I heard sounded different from the other 3s. That 3 must be the constant term of the polynomial. Then if we use this 3 as the origin, like a number axis, the left side is the coefficient for the negative exponents, and the right side is the coefficients for the positive exponents. Eureka! This string of coefficients is the shorthand of a Jones polynomial. If we assign the 8 coefficients to the 8 corresponding exponents in a Jones polynomial, we get its true form. T to the power of -4 minus t to the power of -3 plus 2t to the power of -2 minus 3 times t to the power of -1 plus 3 minus 3t plus 2t squared minus t cubed plus t to the power of 4. A knot with 8 crossings.
She looks up, her bright aquamarine eyes shine with delight. A golden knot projects from her fingertips.
See, Vertin, Apiron did give us the answer. The key we've been looking for, the most profound secret, the language of the divine. No
I don't
sound or
understand
text
yet
is
at all.
needed, just pure structure, the very form of the essence itself. It is a beautiful shape, a simple knot.
A knot? Great. Now there is only one step left. The verification.
She nods and looks at the communicator.
Did you hear that, Madame Lucy? Can you help us verify the authenticity of this knot?
After an unsettling silence, Miss Radio finally remembers that she has turned down the volume. When she turns it back on, Lucy's voice comes through clearly over the channel.
Of course. I have paid close attention to the discussion. This polynomial produces a single unique knot. We can now tie a knot to test it.
The call goes silent again. The cave is silent too, as if any noise would alter the outcome. Even Regulus has turned off her personal speakers. In the quiet hush, Miss Radio cranks up her volume once more, but all they hear is a sharp hiss of static, and a soft, strange rustling. 20 minutes have passed.
Madame Lucy?
The only sound is a constant static, accompanied by a faint, scratchy reverberation.
Is the signal dropping? Madame Lucy, can you hear us?
I can.
The robot utters with effort. The knot slips from her grip and falls. It has completed its great mission. Then the robot starts to fall apart and melt. Before the curse could get to her core, the fire thief flashes a smile. She needs to ensure the next message is clear on the radio.
It worked.
Okay. But the ritual core is officially complete. Thank you, everyone. The ritual core is complete. We have successfully overcome all the challenges we faced, and all that remains is assembly and mass production. Our research on the storm has come to a successful conclusion. We are also collecting names for the ritual core. If you are interested, please feel free to submit your suggestions. Below are the suggestions we have collected. 37 suggests the Lucy knot. And then big stream of letters and numbers. The absolute universal R suggests the powered storm immunity device. Somebody suggests Laplace's knot, which is uncool. 1914 knot, wrong time. The knot, it has such a nice ring to it. Yeah, and Cochins. The storm arrives in 4 hours.
I never thought it would be the Timekeeper and the Aperon Arcanus who'd solve the problem. But now even humans can cast this ritual.
Laplace is now in a rare state of tranquility, for the researchers have done all they can. There's nothing left for them to do. With only 4 hours to go, this is the final calm before the storm.
Indeed. The knot is the physical form of the ritual we were looking for. Surprisingly, the numerical code yielded practical results. I thought it was necessary to report this to the Timekeeper's organization. It was her contribution, but it did not go well.
Oh? Did 37 attempt it?
Forgive the interruption. What's a knot?
I will be glad to answer your question. Knot theory is a branch of algebraic topology. In mathematics, a knot refers to a connected closed curve in three-dimensional Euclidean space that does not intersect itself. They can also be described as shapes in three-dimensional space that are homeomorphic to circles. Knot theory focuses on the entanglement and configurations of closed curves in three-dimensional space, rather than the curves themselves. Since all closed curves are homeomorphic to circles, they can all be topologically categorized as circles. A knot equivalent to a two-dimensional circle is called an unknot, and...
I don't mean to question Laplace's expertise, but this approach may not be the best solution for widespread implementation. The concepts are complex even for us, let alone others. We can't expect to give an advanced math lesson to every individual under these circumstances. Doing math before the storm. Nobody's got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
As it turned out, presenting a technical report was much too premature. We should have a complete and official report once the immunity gear is produced.
Maybe you can change your approach the next time you report to the Foundation.
The robot shakes her head, disappointed by the failure of her report and the listener's math level.
I simply gave them honest answers.
She turns her head and looks thoughtfully out the window.
But this solution is deserving of widespread implementation. All we need is a piece of rope and tie it end to end, and spend 3 to 5 minutes to make this knot. This can be done anywhere, at any time, by anyone using any type of cordage. The oldest, fastest, and most basic ritual, the key to braving the storm, is a knot.
Why didn't you tell the House of Intercratus? I'm sure they would have funded us generously.
I will make sure to put it in my interdepartmental report.
A rare hint of frustration flickers across her face. But she quickly moves on to a subject that deserves her attention.
But at this point in time, the knot only functions like an incantation. It is not suitable for widespread use until the research on the side effects and the converter are complete.
In any case, I've completed all the tasks you assigned me. My last plea is, please never put Ulrich and I on the same team again.
The researcher lets out a deep yawn, feeling as if he hadn't slept in ages. Maybe he can catch a quick nap before the final battle begins.
I'm surprised that you're not in the lab. Something bothering you? Wait, don't tell me you're charging here.
The robot turns to him, an approving smile on her face.
Excellent job, Researcher Adler. You have proven that you are keeping the locations of public outlets in Laplace in mind, which is a positive sign for your resocialization. But I am powering up to reach my optimal condition, preparing for what is to come. The Scroll of Aperon, the final piece of the puzzle, the key to minimizing any negative effects caused by the incantation.
Wow! The designers on artificial somnambulism could use some of this inspiration. Look at the clouds! Painted with a syndrome of colors and interrupted by a glorious streak of rainbow. It's truly a masterpiece.
The red blur streaks forward at lightning speed, but the Olitaceous are still in hot pursuit. Their skins are becoming increasingly vibrant due to the storm syndrome.
Funny. They're flying towards the headquarters out of instinct. Maybe they can sense immunity zones. These little beasts would make for a good study. But I'm not in the mood to take any prisoners.
Lilia speeds up again, trying to lose the pursuers that are swarming behind her like a dark vortex. In front of her, under the clouds, the gray buildings of the Foundation are clearly visible. Fuel and ammunition are running out. Her altitude is low enough, she can almost see the hallway outside the committee room.
Huh. Maybe I should storm the Vice President's office with them. But other people might get hurt there. Never mind.
She makes an abrupt turn, her mind racing with ideas.
Dive into the lake? But the splash might wet the scroll. Wait, isn't that...
Sprouts from the forest. Looks like a signal to land.
Miss Lilia, this way.
Ha! Good timing.
Her friend's presence has given her a clear sense of direction. Without a second thought, she charges into the new forest with the huge herd in hot pursuit. Just before crashing into the trees, Red 38 changes course and rockets upward in a perfectly straight line. But the creatures behind her have no such finesse. One by one, they slam into the mesh woven by the dense tangle of trees and vines.
Enemies intercepted. Ally landed successfully. Miss Travis, the Elitiaos are all ensnared in vines.
The druid closes her eyes, savoring the fresh air.
The winds of triumph sweep through the woods. An excellent flight, Miss Lilia. We will take it from here. Come, everyone. We shall vanquish our foes with the aid of the woods.
Oh, we've got a battle. Recommended. And let's swap out Pickles with Melania.
Wait, give me 10 more minutes.
Did I start running? It's newly made this year. Another jar? There they are. Enjoy! It's wrong!
Alright, I'm gonna combine those two together. And let's power up Lucy.
We are like-minded.
Hit that.
Charging.
And, okay.
Here.
Target confirmed.
Cheer up.
We share the same dream.
Loading.
To a brighter future for everyone. Faraday's miracle.
Roosted. Another one comes out. Okay, you powered up.
Charging. Loading. Aim and shoot.
Lucy is
Remember
ridiculous.
It's called lending a hand.
The Special Operations Squad is ready to go. Dr. Kakanya, are you really going to stay here?
Storm arrives in 4 hours. She shakes her head, her fingers tight on Marcus's communicator. For more than 10 hours, she has been waiting for Laplace to respond. Marcus lowers her eyes, burying her face in her scarf to hide the tears. The doctor quickly notices it. Her voice softens and changes to a lighter tone.
Don't worry about me, young missy. This won't be goodbye forever. Besides, I have already provided all the help I can, right? I made Isolde show us the ritual and kept her under control, and now you've figured out how the ritual works. To test its results, you will need a couple of volunteers.
But Marcus doesn't seem to find comfort in her words.
But you heard the report from Laplace. The possibility of surviving the ritual is nearly zero without the converter and the scroll and...
Nearly, they said. But not surely.
The doctor interjects briskly.
Plus, where else can I go? I was born and raised in this city. This is where I came from, where I lived and where I belong. This is my whole world. I despised the maggots under its golden surface and fought for the justice and fairness in our society. But I also cherish every detail of this city, from the intricate carvings on the theater columns to the dirt trodden by dock workers. All of these things made me me. My family, my friends, my people, and my operas and culture are all here. I never once thought about leaving this place. I have never thought about destroying it either.
She looks up and sighs sentimentally.
Being washed away with it would be a just punishment for all my sins.
Yet her eyes are free of darkness and despair. Marcus can clearly see her determination.
I wish I could be as brave as you are. See you, Miss Clara.
She gently reaches out to her. Not far away, the Special Operations Squad is ready to go. The helicopter begins to whirl. It's the last errand of the day. Inside the cabin, Isolde sits between two Razor operatives, her wrists bound in cuffs.
Hurry, ladies, before any of us turns into one of those exquisite paintings. Sorry, but the headquarters is too far for the teleportation disc from here. You'll have to bear with us smelly old grunts for a little longer.
It is time to part ways.
Goodbye, Miss Marcus. Sharing this era with you has been an honor.
Their warm hands clasp in a powerful handshake. With a wave to the teary-eyed girl, Kikania turns around and heads toward the City of Madness.
Is your birthday approaching, Doctor?
She twirls sharply around at the entranced voice. Isolde reaches out into the air, still in a dream she's unwilling to wake up from. There, the world is unchanged, and each day is filled with bliss. For a prisoner in the Foundation's facility, perhaps dreams will provide the solace she needs.
I made this for you.
She holds out a brooch, a piece so exquisite that it seems to be so an intangible figment of a wistful dream. The golden settling nestles the sparkling gem in place, a gift undoubtedly made with great affection.
Turquoise and topaz. Just like you and your eyes. Please accept my blessings, Doctor. May your life be filled with joy and contentment. And may your courage guide you through all that comes your way. You are worthy of all the beauty and goodness this world has to offer. And I will hold you in my heart and in my prayers. Forever.
Today isn't Kikania's birthday, nor can she see her reflection in Isolde's lusterless eyes. The Star of Vienna holds up the brooch, yearning at the emptiness before her. If one were to die today, what would she say to her longtime friend?
Süße Träume, Frau Dittersdorf.
She takes the brooch and pins it to her jacket. The communicator at her wrist crackles. A ray of hope shines through the static.
Madame Lucy, any progress on the research?
You could more accurately say that the humans depend on scientific rate. I am going to go to the bathroom quickly, but we should be finished up soon.
Six is awake?
The blind woman nods, smiling. 37 scrambles up from the floor, her eyes sparkling with joy.
Fabulous! Now everything is perfect, like the number 10. He will be happy to hear that I've cracked the code.
She skips across the room, the paper with the knots on it still in her hand.
I did it, Vertin! I have proven the light of truth still shines. With some time, communication, and a flash of inspiration, we can bring it down from the unattainable skies and let its radiance illuminate all. And I've also proven that the truth is not out of reach or too distant to grasp. So, once Sophia knows about this, she'll come back to us, right?
No. She opens her eyes, wide, eager for the affirmation she yearns to hear.
I'm sure she'll be happy with what you've accomplished, 37.
37 nods with satisfaction and quickly dives back into her work, further perfecting the solution. The leaps in progress and the news of Six's return have filled the lab with smiles and lively conversations. Yet the most active members of the past are not here for the celebration.
Did 210 and 888 go to get 6?
You don't seem that happy.
The leader stops, looking at the speaker coming down the steps.
The Star of Hermes deciphered the code of Aperon. She found a way to cross the emanation. We should all feel happy for her.
The leader does not answer, having mastered the art of silence over the years. The rhetorician doesn't care. He can effortlessly engage in dialogue and is at ease in any conversation, even with a rock.
Yet here you are, so indifferent. It is because you, too, know that what has happened will not change, regardless of whether she figures it out or not. A meager ritual to save people from the emanation is nothing compared to the disruption of the law above. It also cannot change the fact that our faith is dead. We're talking about how the island has sunk, and we're now sailing in a tsunami. A tiny miracle, a spark of inspiration, won't save the ship from the wrath of the tides.
His tone is sarcastic, but the mockery is missing in his eyes.
To be honest, I was surprised that she asked such a practical question. I guess the trivialities of the phenomenal world did eventually affect her. It's a shame that many others lack her determined will to see beyond the void of our broken reality.
What's your point?
Can't you see? I'm getting a rise out of you.
He beams a huge grin.
Who would have thought that our great, perfect, honorable leader of the School of Aperon has been a nihilist all along? You never revered the truth, did you? That's why you kept us in the dark for 4 years. You never respected our beliefs for a second in your life.
The man down the steps shakes his head.
The people who seek the truth are more important than the truth itself. I may not understand that ever-shifting number, but I do understand and respect the people here.
He's continuing the conversation, a rarity to behold. Ever since becoming 6, he's rarely had a chance to unleash his sarcastic wit.
So you know the secret. What now? Now that you know the truth could lead to a nihilistic void, I wonder if you would abandon our doctrines, our wisdom, and our inheritance, and step into the darkness in a fit of rage. When truth fails, sophistry prevails. Correct?
Ha! We cannot deny that fate, the unspeakable, holds wisdom beyond our understanding. Perhaps it does take a resolute skeptic, an impartial nihilist, to steady this ship and remain detached enough to look on from the sidelines.
2010 looks up at the distant grape-colored sky.
It's a pity. This was supposed to be the best time of year to make wine.
He leaves without looking back. The silent leader continues on the path. A short distance away, 37 glides gracefully down the sand and runs towards him.
6! You're here! 888 said they're holding a celebration before the arrival of the emanation, in honor of the living and the dead. Will you join us, 6?
37. Do you remember the story of Socrates?
The one you told me in the cave? The trial is over. Why mention it? You should answer my question first.
Her words trail off as her eyes suddenly widen in fear. She's completely fixated on what's in the distance. She knows the feast is underway, and she's recalculated the safe zone for them to hold it in. But now, people are laying out food and wine on the ruined beach amongst the rubble and wreckage right next to the remains of the battlefield.
Wait, are they holding the ceremony outside the immunity zone? I told them to go to the meadow near the top of the mountain where they will be completely safe. I've checked my 888 must have made a mistake. I need to warn them.
Her tiny arms are held back. Blonde hair droops over Six's eyes. 37 looks in confusion at the leader's unusual bathe.
37. Either be wise, uninvolved, and look on, or be practical, involved, and suffer. Which one will you end up choosing?
You mean all we need is a piece of hope?
The voice on the phone sounds unsure.
Yes. In recognition of your extraordinary contributions, Laplace is honored to present you with the fruits of our labor. This knot is the result of our research. The knot has been validated as a working ritual on both humans and arcanists. With the help of other arcanists, we found methods to avoid side effects and conducted small-scale experiments with success.
So are you saying we can...
However, since the experiment is still in its early stages, it involves a variety of materials and complicated rituals that are not yet possible for transmission. Nor can we deliver you any experimental equipment, as the storm is about to make landfall. The knot acts as an equivalent to the incantation, but it does not guarantee that we will meet the casting requirements or avoid the likely side effects.
This is devastating news for anyone in need of rescue in the midst of a disaster. The robot pauses briefly, searching its database for kinder phrasings.
I apologize, Miss Kakanya. Perhaps the result of our work will not really help your situation.
You said the knot works on both humans and arcanists, right?
Surprisingly, there's no despair in her voice.
Yes.
That is more than enough. This is the best news I've heard so far. There's a chance for everyone.
The robot did not understand her mumbling, but she found something in her database that might help.
I have 2 more pieces of good news. First, the curse is not inevitable. Our experiments showed a 0.49% likelihood of no side effects occurring at all. Second, the closer the storm gets, the more pneuma fills the air, leading to a greater success rate of the ritual. Yet, even with these factors combined, the rate of success is still extremely low.
It's all right. With millions of people trying, there's hope that at least one person will succeed against the odds. Thank you for sharing this with me, madam. I will do everything I can to spread this knot in Vienna. To the Arcanists, humans, Magyars, and Germans, they are all my people, regardless of their social status, profession, or race. They all deserve the right to survive.
Lucy ends the call and turns around. There stands a Foundation employee sent here to inquire about the experiment, with a stern expression overhearing the conversation.
Madame Lucy, I can only assume you acted impulsively and overlooked the proper application process. The knot is new and not ready for widespread testing. Distributing it in Vienna could lead to more casualties or even fall into the hands of our enemies. I must remind you that this is a clear violation of the regulations set by Pax Security Council, the St. Pavlov Foundation, and the Laplace...
Ah, yes. How careless of me.
The robot nods.
But I did tell her I would share the results of the research, and this is what you call a promise. And the database says, a promise made is a promise kept.
You still need to have the authority to make and carry out the promise. The storm is imminent. The final moment has arrived.
My brothers and sisters, put down your cups for a moment and lend ear to me. We were born extraordinary, yet estranged from the world around us. Throughout the ages, we wandered the world like a ship lost at sea. Despite the instability and chaos, we persevered, and together we sought after the truth that would illuminate us all. Through introspection and contemplation, we cleansed ourselves of hatred, madness, and delusion, and embraced the value of beauty and harmony.
Yet now, our shattered faith mingles with the rubble of this phenomenal world, as specks in an unjust timeline, as remnants of a tide long receded. The dream of the transcendental world is broken, and the order of the transcendental law is no more.
Our sanctuary has crumbled, exposing us to live in a world filled with conflict and turmoil, where we will be trapped in the wheel of birth, doomed to repeat the mistakes of history for eternity.
But do not despair, for there is another way to the truth. It is a path fueled by unbridled passion, one that was stifled by moderation and restraint, a path that transcends the individual, breaks all boundaries and limitations, and leads us back to the essence in a fiery blaze of glory.
This path is the emanation, which we stride into for the ultimate truth of our journey.
Doctor?
The boy eases his pace as he sees Kikania rushing his way.
Finally, someone I know!
She cradles a thick stack of pamphlets in her arms, a little out of breath.
Ilich, gather everyone you can and have them read out these steps in the plaza for all to hear. If possible, go to the telegraph office or use a printing machine to copy flyers. Distribute as many copies as you can. I'll go to Leopoldstadt and find the Gracchus brothers. They know where to find abandoned military hot air balloons.
What are you talking about, Doctor? People are too busy trying to escape. I want nothing to do with those crazies. This? A guide for tying knots? Don't you know the world is about to end? So many warnings. Who'd want to read this?
The people who want to survive will read it. I can't guarantee anything. It's a gamble for our lives. But people have a right to try before doomsday arrives. Ilich, please trust me one more time. Please.
The boy recognizes the plea in her voice.
Fine, Dr. Clara. If this works, your coffee for the rest of your life is on me.
If it doesn't work, you're dead.
Why?
Clutching at her own hair, she lets out a heart-wrenching wail.
Why? Why are you still leaving? I found the truth. I completed the test. I deciphered the code of Apiron.
She struggles, trying to break free from the arm holding her back, her eyes fixed on the beach before her.
Why aren't you stopping them, Six?
A friendly figure comes up to them.
Hello. Are you joining them, Miss Marta?
She smiles and shakes her head, turning her face toward the leader.
I find myself uncertain of which way to go. Would you kindly give me some guidance?
The guidance I can offer you is limited, Miss Marta. I think fate knows its own fate better than anyone.
Thank you for your advice. I think I understand.
She steps into the path of no return.
Sa
We have another?
My dear child, look at you. You're exhausted. I couldn't be of help then. But it's okay. The party is over now. At least let me brush your hair, darling. Or your hair will get all knotted. And it will hurt you when you try to untangle them.
Indeed, it happened more than once.
I'm not surprised. An old friend of ours, not. Often, we learn our knots before we even know how to read and write. A knot could be an obstacle that breaks the consistency of a flow. And also a reminder of forgotten things. You can use just about anything on hand to make a knot. Leaves of grass, the fur of an animal, even fallen hair. But the sturdiest knots are tied with rope. Knots are often found in many stories. Signify promises, counting and measuring, an instrument of salvation, and one of execution.
What can these knots really do?
Oh, I could go on all day. The influence and power of knots can't be overstated. It is said that it was in the cutting of the Gordian knot that Alexander became the Great. Just touching the meters-long rope provides blessings to the faithful in Bellum. And tiny knots on strings can carry the history of an entire people. The ancient Inca called it quipu. The intricate variations of hundreds of fabrics, colors, and lengths of strings were used to record their stories through the ages. And to think, Shakespeare only had 26 letters to create his masterpieces.
Isn't there something a bit more practical?
Just look around you. Don't sailors use knots to mark depths and mend sails? Or coachmen tying knots to rein their horses? And any respectable lady or gentleman knows the knots they must tie about their necks to stay in fashion. Or consider the knot-like helix structure of DNA and the changes in states of matter. Invisible to the naked eye, these knots carry some hint at a universal law. That there might be a string, like the quipu, an endless rope that records in its knots everything in the world, one that can't be seen, yet there it is, everywhere, all at once. Maybe you can tie this knot yourself. Use your hair, then form a loop, pass the end through it, and tighten it up. There you go. I hope you keep this knot as a record of the words we shared here.
The two numbers.
I don't understand. I should be giving them my blessings. They're brave enough to return to the essence. But instead, sadness washes over me. I should feel happy for Sophia, now that she knows her soul number. Yet, I am filled with sorrow.
The beach is quiet, clean, and perfect again. The storm has washed away everything that's happened. The war, the crowds, and the clinking cups, all gone. It's restored to the likeness of a better time, with no remnants left behind. The last echoes of an era have faded into the distance.
Why did you all leave? Is it because I wasn't fast enough? Is it because I didn't do well enough?
Her petite frame sways in the breeze until finally she crumples to the sand. Rivulets of tears stream down her cheeks, mixing with the mud on the ground. Her face, hair, and gilded robe are marred with stains, but she shows no concern as she bawls her eyes out, her grief tearing at the core of her being. Like the first cries of a newborn entering the phenomenal world. Thus the leader knows the question is answered. Rather than looking on, she has chosen to be practical, involved, and suffer. And now the moment of parting has come.
Go, 37. Leave the island to the world outside. Ms. Verton, you're clearing a path out of the mires of the phenomenal world. I sincerely hope you will steer it away from the horrors of war.
It's our duty to do so.
6 nods approvingly. The importance of the scroll needs no further proclamation.
Also, the person you were looking for. I am not familiar with a biographer named Erd. However, in my recollections from the previous 6, there was a lady with a soul number just as unique as yours.
Are you saying?
Sadly, these vague scraps of information were all that I inherited. I hope they will be useful to you.
He turns around. Without another look at the empty beach, he starts walking back. Some believers trail after him without a hesitation. Seeing this, the girl wipes off her tears and scrambles to her feet.
No! Wait! 6, where are you going? Everyone is gone! Sophia, 210, 888, and now you too?
I'm returning to the cave, 37. There are still people who refuse to be caught in the cycle of hatred, or give in to unrestrained passion. The entrance to the sacred place may be destroyed, but the people's faith is yet to be extinguished. We will persist in studying the scrolls, copying the scriptures, and restoring our halls. We will worship the Ancient One in penance and work to rekindle the flame of our broken beliefs. The island is a manifestation of our choices, a haven removed from the phenomenal world, a place of order and harmony. And it is our determination that will sustain its tranquil existence.
I will go with you!
No. Your choice has already been made, 37. You should not go back. The sorrows and doubts you have can only be alleviated by experiencing the outside world.
37's face turns completely pale. 6 shakes his head, looking toward the setting sun.
Thousands of years ago, the first faithful ones fled from the Roman Empire and journeyed to this island, where they founded the School of Aperon. 500 years ago, refugees from Arabia found shelter here. They filled the cavern's shelves with copies of their writings and texts. Half a century ago, scholars who had their research exploited for warfare came and expanded our knowledge on modern mathematics. There were many 37s and 6s among them. Yet, are we any different from them in essence? Even if we are no longer here, the numbers 37 and 6 will still exist. Even if the island sank, these numbers would reappear elsewhere. The integer sequence is infinite, 37. Rather than clinging to a set of specific numbers, you should go and work out your own calculations and conclusions.
So now you're choosing to be wise and look on. But I don't understand. How could one be wise by being uninvolved and looking on from the sidelines?
6 lets out a sound, almost a chuckle.
You overestimate wisdom, Miss Verton. It can't do everything. Wisdom can free people from ignorance, but it can also lead them to a nihilistic void. Yet, someone will always seek this wisdom, even if nihilistic, to briefly rise above their worldly troubles and find some relief. and someone will have to stay here and provide a neutral haven for the drifters of the phenomenal world, and give the lost souls a harbor to return to.
He turns again, ignoring the calling behind him this time.
Wait! Six! Wait!
She rubs her face with her palms and pulls up her robe, running down the beach. She stumbles over a pebble and falls, but she pushes through the pain and rises to her feet, still running as fast as she can.
Wait, Six! Atticus!
The man stops. He had not expected to hear that name. Numbers are the essence of one's soul, and names are but echoes of the phenomenal world. He was born into his number, long before he was given the name Atticus. 37 never once called him by that name, for she had always valued the essence above all else. Now here she stands, hair tangled with mud, knees bleeding, all battered and bruised, yet her gaze remains resolute.
Will you leave a door open for me in your cave, like when we were kids? I know the transcendental law is in disorder, but that doesn't mean the truth is gone. I will carve a new path through the chaos, calculate better solutions than ever before, and delve into the phenomenal world to discover all it has to offer. By then, if I run into problems that I can't solve, can we talk about them together? Like we used to?
3 maxims were carved on the pillars of the Temple of Apollo. Know thyself, know nothing in excess, and give a pledge and trouble is at hand. What can he say? Alleviating doubts is a leader's duty.
Yes, a door will be left open for you, 37. Both you and your friends can come in.
It's a promise, Six.
She brushes away her tears and waves to him. It's still a goodbye, but it's no longer as devastating. The last of the Aperon followers have left, leaving only the Timekeeper's team on the beach.
Zeno sent a ship to pick us up. Let's go, 37. The researchers of Laplace would love to meet you.
The girl's shoulders are trembling.
Are you nervous? Afraid of the unknown world?
Maybe a little, but I will get used to it.
She lets out a breath, clearing the tangle of emotions from her mind. A familiar smile lights up on her face.
Because the nature of the universe flows in all things alike.
The umbrella and the knot.
We are prisoners within these cavern walls. Our gaze is held captive by the shadow's thrall. Until our hands clasped and our chains rattled, we united to break free from our shackles. The sightless joined forces with the soundless, and the voiceless uplifted the helpless. Together, we assembled a sliver of truth, a piece of the world hidden since youth. Have you got something for me, Mesmer?
Mesmer Jr. looks worn and tired, but her demeanor is still somewhat friendly. Dark circles are clearly visible under Mesmer Jr.'s eyes, just like every Laplace member encountered today.
Yes. They asked me to give this to you. The culmination of our research, the crystallization of man and all its wisdom, the protective gear against the storm, an umbrella, something you personally don't really need.
She takes a sarcastic jab as she opens the white satin umbrella.
It's called the Equilibrium Umbrella. This is the first model, consisting of a converter, a harmonizer, and a ritual core. The converter generates a balancing field that can cast rituals in the storm, taking account of the wielder's capabilities. The harmonizer's markings are inspired by the scroll of Apeiron. Madame Lucy tested it against 162 known side effects and found it to be highly effective. The original scroll has been returned to the island. This is only a simplified and duplicated rendition.
The 162 curses aren't all of them, right?
Correct. There may be other unknown side effects, so the umbrella is only a prototype in the testing phase. And the ritual core. At first it was called the 37 Lucy Knot in honor of the two main contributors. However, both of them turned it down.
Yes. I still remember what 37 said at the time. She would rather name it after the mathematical properties of the knot, even if it's too much of a mouthful.
No. 37 is not a name, and the truth should not be dressed up with anyone's name. I only found it. I didn't invent it. I don't need something named after me to prove my sense of existence. But I'm not on the island anymore. I can understand that the imaginary numbers need to honor the discovery. You may use another contributor's name for it. I'm willing to accept that.
Madame Lucy showed no interest in the naming rights, so it was transferred to the third major contributor, Adler Hoffman. Sadly, researcher Adler also rejected the offer. At first, we nearly ended up using the date of that day as the name, but he changed his mind after confirming he could use his family name instead.
The Hoffman knot? You named it after Madame Hoffman? Yes. Researcher Adler Hoffman wanted to make sure that Greta Hoffman would never be forgotten for her selfless sacrifice. Level 4 Investigator Marcus, please accept this umbrella. It is rightfully yours.
She receives an Equilibrium umbrella. Its pearly sheen creates an illusion of pure whiteness in front of her.
Given the incredible contributions you have made, you're welcome to apply for a well-deserved and extended vacation. No. I will request for permission to go out. My era is gone. But with this umbrella in hand, I will venture into the new world and marvel at what's to come.
Marcus looks up at the sky.
Will the sucker tort taste the same?
With the umbrella in her arm, she bows to the Foundation staff member. Then she turns and walks toward the light.
And lastly, the asymmetrical nuclide R in the handle of the umbrella is supposed to protect against the storm syndrome, but this still needs to be confirmed through testing.
It's okay. This is the one thing we need the most.
If you have no further questions about its usage, I'm heading back to the rehab center. The afflicted researchers there are in dire need of my magnet therapy.
Don't you think 1 is not enough for my needs? I think 5. No, 15 might be more helpful.
An unexpected question. Mesmer Jr. stops with a surprised look on her face.
My suitcase can't protect humans from the storm. They'll need the umbrella to survive. In the future missions, I may encounter lots of...
Mesmer Jr. interrupts.
Just a reminder, Timekeeper. This is only a prototype. The application forms for the umbrella are available in the Foundation lobby. Feel free to apply for as many as you need.
She turns and leaves, not staying for another second.
Thank you, Mesmer.
The amount of sunlight is just right. The umbrella pops open, rotating with a touch of grace. Against the white fabric, the golden knot gleams with brilliance.
37 was right. It is a beautiful shape indeed.
The Foundation Square has been restored to its former glory. A recognizable figure stands there, having waited for a long time.
Hey, Vertin! Did you get it done?
Yes, it went smoothly. I was expecting something more complicated. So, to get the umbrella, you only need to fill out forms.
Huh? That's not what I was talking about. I'm talking about the brave and glorious sacrifice of my Apple II. Don't you think the Foundation should compensate me with a shiny new ship? Oh? What do you mean, oh? Are you saying you totally forgot about it?
Regulus closes in, offended, putting her hands on both her shoulders.
Easy, Regulus. Those people are likely buried in paperwork right now. Just be patient and wait.
She twirls a golden medal between her fingers.
Lilia, how was your commendation ceremony?
They rewarded me for escorting the important item during the storm. How is delivering a scroll worthy of a reward? I'll say someone should be grateful I didn't crash into the committee building.
She tosses the medal to Regulus.
Take it. Might be useful for your alchemy.
Oh, let me see.
Regulus brings the medal to her mouth and takes a small bite.
Oh, thanks, mate. It's made of pure gold. On behalf of the pirate community, I thank you for your remarkable contribution to alchemy.
I have one too.
Druvis Thrid walks over and places another medal in Regulus's hand. Like Lilia, she was rewarded for helping to deliver the scroll.
Please forgive my lack of contribution, Timekeeper.
She missed the island trip because of the forest they planted in the Foundation Square. Fortunately, the square has been restored to its original condition.
It seems the awakened woods have embraced tranquility once more. Perhaps a sign of good things to come.
I'm glad to see you back on your feet, Miss Druvis. In fact, there's a place I'd like to introduce you to. A flourishing island that survived both war and the storm. I think a talented druid like you would be of great help to them.
Sounds like a place to look forward to.
The reunion is cut short by the pirates cheering.
Nice job, Druvis. It's not as big as Lilia's, but it is made of a rare kind of metal.
This is a good start, Captain. This apple thinks we only need 300 more medals to afford a new ship.
You read my mind, Mr. Chief Mate. When will Zeno's ceremony be held? This captain is not a fan of these ceremonies. So, could they just mail me my medal?
The rocking pirate coughs awkwardly, her eyes darting away behind the cover of her shades.
Did I miss something? Are we holding a medal exchanging party?
Sotheby!
Regulus rejoices at the sight of the little lady, tears welling up in her eyes. She stretches out a hand, and Sotheby immediately gets the message.
But I don't have a medal. All I have is this big round golden...
A handful of weighty jewelry is placed in Regulus's hands.
Captain, I think we can buy a new ship with this.
Regulus wraps her in her ginormous bear hug, moved to tears. Praise Sotheby, the most charitable woman in history, the revitalizer of the pirate community, the prime sponsor of the ingenious alchemist, and the bank vault on legs.
Regulus! Regulus!
Sonetta runs over panting, waving a stack of stamped papers in her hand.
The Timekeeper asked me to request a new ship for you, and we have the approval. The Foundation will rebuild Apple II and pay for its maintenance. Huh?
Funny you say that, Sonetto.
The trees sway in the breeze and the sunlight streams through the leaves. It is a fine weather to set sail again.
Now we have 2 new ships.
Notification on receiving the Equilibrium Umbrella. Special notice to all. The prototype of the first generation personal storm immunity device, commonly known as the Equilibrium Umbrella, has been completed and validated through Miss Lucy's testing. Thank you all for the contributions and sacrifices. Everything you have done today will be remembered in our history. Special thanks in alphabetical order: Abigail, Adler, Afra, Alice, Miss Lucy should be first on the list, but it's in alphabetic order, it's only fair. Adler sure got lucky with his name on this one. Oh well, he deserves it. I'm off on vacation. I'll treat everyone later. Remember to come along. And now the curtain. Is this the last one? The youth are sailing for a new road, while the old are saying goodbye to the world they knew.
"15 plugs. This should be enough to cover all socket types at our destination. Simone, pass me the experiment log, please."
She brushes the dust off the desk and takes a final inventory of the lab's equipment. She leaves the lights off, not needing them any longer. An urgent knock sounds from the door.
Come.
Before she finishes her protocol for human social customs, the door barges open.
Madame Lucy, is it true? Are you leaving Laplace?
Yes. The inquiry is over. This is the decision of all parties involved.
You have got to be kidding me!
Enigma pounds the table, sending the dust from the experiments into the air.
After all the incredible contributions you've made, they're suspending you? This is absolutely ridiculous! Without you, there would be no umbrella, and everyone would have died from the side effects!
But many did perish because of me. I had underestimated the danger of the ritual, and it ended up spreading uncontrollably. Did you not once have the same opinion, researcher Adler Hoffman?
The robot gives him a friendly nod.
It is surprising to see you change your mind so quickly, but that is just what Laplace needs. The spirit of rationality and self-evolution.
The documents have been filed away. Simone walks up to Lucy and takes the heavy experimental apparatus from her hands. As the dust settle rises from their movements, Enigma lets out a cough.
I can imagine how they came to this decision. They must have considered the backgrounds of all the employees, including their social status and race. After 8 years, we finally created an umbrella to withstand the storm. However, our methods for achieving such progress and breakthroughs were too much for some to handle. People needed an outlet for their frustrations, so someone had to be held responsible for the accidents and casualties. Numerous complaints have been filed against me, accusing me of being a cold, heartless opponent of humanity. Within the Foundation, Xeno, and even here, some are starting to question the idea of having an awakened piston as a leader of Laplace. They argued about my arcane abilities, unsure if I had them under control or if they were becoming unstable and affecting my ability to make rational decisions.
The robot realizes an overlooked detail.
I did give the nod to Miss Kikanya in violation of the confidentiality agreement, but ultimately, it helped people survive, and that is all that matters.
But Enigma does not pick up on this realization. He's already enraged, fist clenched in a ball.
So they're questioning your standing because you're an awakened? An arcanist? They're doubting the rationality of a machine that values technology and progress above all else? Could anything be more absurd? Even I, a human, was on the verge of giving up. It was you who convinced me to save our species.
My question is, why are you so upset? This does not affect you. In fact, you may be promoted. Laplace is setting up a new department, and you and Ulrich should have been invited to head it.
Weil das verdammt ungerecht ist! Diese Leute kennen dich nicht. Sie haben nicht mit dir gearbeitet oder dir zugehört. Und doch ernten sie freudig die Früchte deiner Arbeit, während sie dir keinen Respekt erweisen. Der einzige Grund, warum du suspendiert wirst, ist, weil du, ein Erwachter, nicht wirklich sterben kannst. Oder sie würden dir jetzt eine Ehrenmedaille auf deinem Grabstein verleihen.
Maybe you should take up that offer. At least you will get a promotion as a just reward.
Enigma opens his mouth, but no sound comes out. He wants to tell her she's wrong about him wanting the promotion, but he's too flustered and angry to speak. The robotic eye slit pulses, and she continues in her unemotional tone.
By the way, Ulrich ended up receiving a medal. But like you, he was not exactly thrilled either. He is outside the committee building, refusing to eat in protest. But everyone knows how resilient the Awakened can be. It is going poorly.
She shakes and sighs, deeply remorseful for her subordinate's behavior.
I will suggest that one of you take this position. No one knows this research better than the two of you.
Not a chance!
The research must progress, and you also need to ensure that the results will not be abused.
A valid concern.
Scheiße. You're right.
Enigma is caught in a fierce battle between his principles and his duty. But the robot doesn't notice these unimportant details. She nonchalantly walks over to the chair and runs a final battery check.
The punishment does not bother me, Researcher Hoffman. Power exists only in your dictionary, not mine. From the moment of my awakening, I have been unable to comprehend you creatures. And even now, that remains unchanged.
She states with no emotion added to embellish her delivery. Enigma's mouth falls open in shock. Meanwhile, the robot just keeps on talking.
We operate in different ways, just like how our fuels differ. But the bright side is our paths align, whether we are creatures or machines, humans or arcanists. Most of us strive for a better life. It is this primal desire that drives progress. That is why I put on the mask of a human and work on improving my appearance and speech, all for the sake of better communication with you. Unfortunately, my efforts do not always pay off. Some say that the more human-like I appear, the more different I seem.
She shakes her head with regret.
But I am who I am, and my motivation is not to gain recognition from others. Our aligned path leads us to progress, and that is all there is to it. Thanks to the invention of the umbrella, Laplace can now resume its research unhindered. And if there is someone better qualified to lead, I am more than willing to remain a humble cog in their machine. Besides, Miss C introduced me to a beautiful resort. The lake there is rich with arcane power, perfect for an awakened arcanist like me. Not only is it a resort, but also an independent team with a good amount of freedom. My only concern is if they have adequate power supply. Oh, rust might be a problem. Perhaps I should ask Researcher X about his titanium derust machine.
The robot is happily thinking about her vacation plans. She has completed all preparations for departure.
Time to go, Simone.
Madam Lucy, please take a look at this before you go.
A stack of reports is handed in front of her.
This is a report you compiled during the storm countdown, detailing 126 side effects and how the scroll alleviates them. I have some questions about the data for Type 34.
Lucy flips it open and dutifully goes through the list one last time.
Yes, I can see a few errors in here.
Oh?
Unfortunately, I have to complete all of the handover procedures today. Perhaps you can ask Mr. Ulrich about it later.
She hands it back to Enigma, but he does not reach for it. He looks at her, grief-stricken.
The side effects left a mark on you, didn't they? There are 162 side effects, not 126. There was also an obvious typo in the data for Type 34. We noticed it long ago and corrected it. Took only 5 seconds. You sacrificed so much for this report, yet you could not see such glaring mistakes. You called me Researcher Hoffman earlier, a name you haven't used since you took over Laplace 8 years ago. To avoid confusion with my sister, you and our colleagues started calling me Adler instead.
Moving closer, he asks grimly,
How much data did you lose to impair your research abilities like this? Is this why you have to leave Laplace now? The progress you've made has helped so many, but at what cost to your own well-being?
The robot does not answer, a rare occurrence. From her side, Simone gently takes the file for her.
We should go, Madame Lucy.
Goodbye, Researcher Adler. Thank you for correcting my mistake.
She walks away with steely steps, not looking back.
Alright, fine!
He grips the door frame, ignoring the strange looks from the hallway.
I'll take up that role and do what you've been nagging me to do. I'll take care of those pesky committees. But just so you know, I'm not doing this for the higher-ups who look down on us, but for the people who look up to us from below.
The footsteps continue in rhythm. Her duty here is done. Then another voice calls out.
Madame Lucy!
The corridors are bustling with people. Researchers, clerks, directors, and security. Every Laplace employee is in the corridors from bottom to top floor. The same voice shouts.
All attention! Salute!
Papers litter the air like snowflakes. Everyone says goodbye in their own language, tossing files over the railings. The countless drafts, designs, and forms from the past 24 hours rain down. They were created for the storm and have completed their mission, just as did the robot.
Simone, why are they throwing papers at me? Are they rejecting me and banishing me?
On the contrary, madam, they are showing their reverence.
Oh, I see.
The robot is without a face and emotion module today, so she turns away from the crowd. The sunlight dances on her metallic surface, enveloping her in a golden aura.
Let us go, Simone. I miss the Laplace Chargers already. There is a 230-volt bath at the resort, right?
Final replay is now available. Okay. Alright, I'll handle that later. Looks like we're done. Finally. Alright. Find somebody to raid. I've got options, but... Ooh.
If Mod could do that, I'm like shouting out everyone, but I just have so much love for everyone. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. But Chris is so kind. Chris always sets up